Well, I just filled up here at Papago Well. Not sure how it's pronounced, honestly. And now I'm gonna push just another few miles just so I can camp away from the water source. And tomorrow, Tule Well is 32 miles tomorrow, so I don't need that much water. And then another 19 to the Tahanas tanks. So it should be good to go. Having a great time. It feels really good to be riding in the desert again. It's very reminiscent of Baja. Well, here we are, end of the first day on the Camino. Camp Grip, the Border Patrol outpost, is right there. I didn't mean to camp so close, it just kind of worked out that way. But I think it's defunct or mothballed anyhow. It didn't seem to be functioning. Pretty easy day, a lot of hard pack, some sand. Although with my tires, I was able to ride most of it. Pretty easy day, really flat. There was one kind of slow climb, long kind of slow climb and sandy, but survived it. So looking forward to tomorrow. Hopefully I don't get murdered in my sleep, and we'll see you tomorrow. Well, here we are, first thing in the morning. This is David O'Neill's grave. I think he was a miner out here. Maybe a rancher. But let's see all of his offerings. Well, this is what it's like, folks. Just these big, huge, pancake flat basins or plains interspersed with these jagged little mountain ranges. And right down there, I'm going to zoom in here. You can see that highway, that's over in Mexico. That's just on the other side of the border. Probably 3 or 4 miles away here. But I could hear that traffic last night as I lay in camp. I think that's Mexican Highway 2. Well, here we are at Tule Well. I'm gonna get some water out of that spigot. It's also a campground. You see there's even tables. Not much shade to speak of, but there's probably about five sites. And we are now on the infamous border wall construction road that I read about online. I'm not too sorry, because although it does change the character of the ride a little bit, it's much faster riding. Probably doubled my speed once I got on it. I was starting to despair because not really despair, but the sand was getting pretty old, and I don't think I'm even, through most of it. But this will cut off a lot of that sand, and it's more like a forest road or your kind of county gravel road. And they've scraped the sand off down to a firmer layer. So that was nice. I'll take it. You know, as time goes by, any route, the character, they usually only get easier, you know. As even in Baja, you know, people started, even like little ranches out in the middle of nowhere, you know, they'll, you know, keep a stock of, you know, bottled water and snacks and stuff for the riders that go by. More cabanas pop up and stuff. So any route, the longer it's a thing, it becomes easier, I think. Kind of gets softened a little bit. So unless you're one of the first ones, you're never going to ride that original route. It's my opinion. If you feel otherwise or concur, leave a comment down below there. All right, I'm going to get some water. I'm going to take a full lunch, and then I'm going to scoot along. Well, it seems I spoke too soon. Look at this hell biking. Really deep sand, just for miles. It was pretty hard packed for a couple miles after that well, and pretty cruisy, and then I hit this stretch. So hopefully once we get out of this basin, or even before that, it'll get less sandy. It's pretty hard. I aired down my tire and that helped. Fuck me, that sucks. But there's hope, because here's these machines, and where the machines sit, it looks like the sand has been scraped off. So I'm even gonna air up my tires again and go forth. Oh, that was really hard. It really slowed me down. Well, we're coming up on the Tinajas Altas, which means the high tanks, I think. There's the road that we're taking, and I think those tanks are up in one of these drainages. And then we're gonna go through that pass there, that low point. And then hopefully the rest of it, after that, I think it's like gonna be about 45 miles to the outskirts of Yuma. And hopefully it is not sandy. I really hope it's not sandy. Well, that's it, folks, for today. I'm about 1.5 miles short of my goal, which was the tanks. But rather than camp right at them, or right below them, I'll camp here. I have 2 liters, which will get me through the night. Pretty hard day. One of the hardest days on a bike I've had in a while, just because of all that sand. Tomorrow I'll have a similar distance, probably about 45, 47 miles from here. Probably a lot of sand too. Well, here we're at Tinajas Altas, the high tanks. I think that must be them there. So we'll just hike up there and get water. Well, we're at the Tinajas Altas, the high tanks. I climbed up a little ways, and you can see there's water in the desert. I filled up at the lowest one right at the bottom, but if you come up, this water looks like it might be cleaner. That water was clear in the bottle, but the pothole itself looked pretty dark. But I think that water's fine. And iodine the heck out of it. But these tanks are of historical and prehistoric significance, because these are the only source, water source in this area. So if you wanted to survive out here, you had to know where these tanks were. And Craig Childs talks about that in his book, The Secret Knowledge of Water, talking, I think, about these very tanks. Yeah, it's nice to read about something or see something on, some media, and then go and visit it. So anyhow, from here it's about 37 miles to town, to Yuma. So hopefully it stays pretty hard pack, which is what I rode on this morning, and I don't have any mechanical issues. I'm just going to take 6 liters and hope that'll get me. And 6 liters is all I have, 6.5. Oh yeah, get some. Well, we're about 7 or 8 miles past the tanks where I got water. And a lot of the road is like this, a hard pack with little rock on top. Some sandy stretches, but for the most part, they've been relatively short and rideable. But I've still got 29 miles. So could be a lot of sand yet. Well, we're about 17 miles from Yuma, but I think it's probably still going to be 4 or 5 hours. I don't know, I wish I could figure out what is the rhyme or reason behind the sand, because just came over that little pass where there's that kind of knob, and suddenly you're in like 8-inch deep sand. Couldn't ride it, and as I'm going downhill, it's getting better. But on the other side of that, the sand, it was fine. Maybe that didn't get any rain this morning. So just wanted to stop and gripe about the sand again. It's pretty hard riding. We're on the road up to Fortuna Mine, and pretty cobbly. This is not, I think, the official Camino del Diablo route, but it is following the one on Bikepacking.com. There was a sign back there that said Camino del Diablo, like stay on the main road. So this is definitely cobbly. Well, here we are at the Fortuna mine site. Right over there's a couple pits, shafts. Not sure what this was, maybe the town site. You can see, I don't know if that's where some kind of processing facility. Yeah, pretty bleak to live here. It says here that conditions were primitive and the sun was relentless. Shade structures, such as this one, built from ocotillo and saguaro, were commonplace over many homes. Well, this is pretty much the end. I think it's about 7 more miles to Yuma, where incidentally my uncle lives right kind of at the end of the official route, which is very convenient, although I'm pretty nasty. And on the Gaia, on the map, it shows that it's a pretty fully developed road out of here. So hopefully that's true. But if not, if it's more cobble like this, then we'll ride it. It's El Camino del Diablo, not El Camino del de los Angeles y Mariposas. Well, we're leaving the mine. We're probably about 1.5 miles away from it now. Probably maybe just a mile. Doesn't matter. It's definitely not a fully maintained road, but it's not too bad. It's not pure cobbles. And this is even a little bit rougher than it has been. And then you can see over here in the distance, the bright lights of Yuma. Well, also, I'm gonna stop filming, no matter what. No more filming. I didn't plan on doing any recording, but then you get out here and you want to show what it's like. So if you're planning on writing this, it might be instructive, or just if you want to see me suffer, it might also be a good video to watch. All handheld, because I did not intend on doing any filming on this Arizona trip at all. I didn't bring even a little tripod or anything. But then you get out here and you're like, well, I gotta film. So, all right, well, thanks for watching if you lasted that long. And if you have any experience on the Camino del Diablo, go ahead and leave a comment. What was it like for you? Sand, water, etc. Okay, well, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.